The first thing I remember from that night wasn't the people or the music or even the argument that came later. It was the light. A ridiculous amount of it. A chandelier hanging over the ballroom of the Meridian Hotel, throwing reflections everywhere, making everyone look polished, important, successful. Everyone except me. My jacket was old, my shoes had seen better days, and I stood there holding a glass I didn't really want, watching my wife own the room like it was built for her. And, in a way, it was. Her name was Vanessa. She was a senior executive at a consulting firm, the kind of job where people nod when you tell them what she does, even if they don't fully understand it. That gala was her world. Her colleagues, her boss, her admirers. I was just the guy standing slightly behind her, smiling politely, the supportive husband. The quiet one. The harmless one. Yeah, that happened. At some point, she waved me over with a small flick of her fingers, the kind you use when you're calling a waiter. Her boss, Aaron Whitmore, looked me up and down like he was scanning a barcode. Vanessa laughed and said, "Ethan's an architect, but not the flashy kind. He likes small projects." She said it with a smile, but the room understood the translation. Hobby. Not serious. Someone chuckled. Not loudly, worse than that. Soft agreement. I smiled back. I always did. You learn to do that when arguing only makes things worse. I slipped my hands into my pockets, touched the old pen I carried everywhere, a habit she teased me about. To her, it was just another one of my odd quirks. To me, it was a reminder of why I stayed quiet, of what I was actually building while everyone else talked. On the ride home, Vanessa was still buzzing, scrolling through photos, replaying conversations, already planning her next move at work. She finally said, "You barely said anything tonight, like it was a flaw I should apologize for." Then came the advice. I should push myself more. Network. Maybe Aaron could help me land something stable. Facilities. Project coordination. A real paycheck. I kept my eyes on the road and said I liked my work. She sighed and said liking something doesn't pay the bills, that she was the one carrying us. I remember glancing at the dashboard of our perfectly fine, slightly outdated car, thinking about the email I'd received earlier that day approving a development overseas. The fee alone could have bought 3 of these cars without financing. But I didn't say that. I just nodded. Because the version of me she needed was the version that depended on her. Sunday lunch at her parents' place followed the same script every time. Big house, loud opinions, subtle insults wrapped in concern. Her father asked if I was still drawing houses. Her mother told Vanessa she worked too hard while some people had it easy. Everyone laughed like it was harmless. I sat there, chewing slowly, listening. When her father complained about a new glass complex downtown, calling it soulless and ugly, I mentioned it had won an International Design Award. He shrugged and said awards didn't pay like real businesses. I didn't tell him my firm designed it. There was no point. They didn't understand quiet success, only loud money. The real turning point came a few weeks later. Vanessa burst into my office at home, phone in hand, eyes bright. She'd booked a luxury trip. First class, an island resort. For herself and her parents. Non-refundable. She said it casually like it was obvious. "You can't afford something like that anyway," she added, not even looking at me. "And someone should stay here and watch the house. You'll have time to work on your little designs." That one hit differently. It wasn't playful. It wasn't accidental. It was deliberate. Sharp. Meant to remind me of my place. I looked at her, really looked at her, and felt something settle inside my chest. Not anger. Clarity. That night, after she fell asleep, I was on a call with my partner Lucas. He was the public face of my firm, the one clients recognized. He asked how much longer I planned to keep living like this. I told him foundations matter. You don't build on something cracked. When he asked if there was anything left worth saving, I didn't answer right away. Then I said no, and I meant it. Vanessa's birthday party was the final act. Our house filled with her people. Colleagues, friends, her parents. Aaron showed up too, a little too comfortable, his hand resting on her back like it belonged there. She gave a speech, thanked everyone, then turned to me. Called me her rock. Said not everyone was meant to build empires, but at least I could build a nice shelf. The room laughed softly. That same polite cruelty. I watched her realize something was wrong when I didn't react. I wasn't embarrassed. I was finished. After the guests left, she was still floating, talking about what a perfect night it was. I told her we needed to talk. She rolled her eyes, said, "Not tonight." I told her to sit down. She did. I listed the moments, the comments, the trip, the way she spoke about me when she thought I wasn't listening, one by one, calmly. Then I asked about Aaron. She denied it, poorly. I told her what I do for a living is notice patterns, stress points, cracks you can't see if you don't know where to look. She exploded, called me jealous insecure, said I couldn't handle her success. It was the same card she'd always played, and for the first time it didn't work. I walked into my office, pressed a hidden latch behind the bookshelf she mocked, and opened the safe. I laid everything out. Company documents, contracts, property deeds, investment statements. I showed her the account balance. The number didn't make sense to her at first. Then it did, and I watched her world collapse in real time. She cried. She begged. She said she didn't know, that she loved me, and all I felt was distance. Not anger, not satisfaction. Distance. I told her she didn't love me. She loved the version of herself that needed me to be smaller. The separation was quick, fair, final. She kept the house, a trust, a clean exit. I kept my life. 6 months later, I stood on the terrace of a building I'd designed years earlier, sketching a community space I planned to fund myself. Lucas brought 2 glasses of whiskey. We watched the city lights come on. He asked about her. I said she'd changed jobs, moved into something quieter. I hoped she found what she was looking for. Here's the thing. The money was never the point. It didn't give me power. It revealed the truth. The real strength was always knowing who I was without applause, without validation, without needing to be seen. So I'll leave you with this. Was I right to walk away the way I did, or do you think there was still something worth saving? If you've ever been underestimated, talked down to, or made to feel small by someone who claimed to love you, share your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear where you stand.